soon, and then I will also have lights on me.
I know that
Yes.
is crazy.
Oh my gosh, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to it's the Daily Whatever show, but it is Monday, so this is not straightforward. I am Lawrence Winnerman, joined by Aidan Wharton. Hey, Aidan.
Hi, friends.
And
Good
we are so
morning.
lucky to have Ben Greene rejoining us today. Hello, Ben.
Hello, thank you for having me back. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, of course. We said that we would have you back like every month, and we're gonna do it. We're doing it.
Here we are.
All right, guys. It is the day after Easter, and I am dragging. But how was your weekends? How are you feeling? Are you Easter people?
I'm Jewish and it's Passover, so I miss bread. We're deep in Passover,
Um,
and all I can think about is pasta, spaghetti, bread, pancakes. I'm dreaming of freedom for my people. But the weekend was great. Besides the lack of bread, it was really nice. I was at a trans theater and comedy festival all weekend in LA that like healed every part of my soul.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I
what was
chose
like a
two, Ben.
standout? Oh wait, what was a standout performance, Ben?
Oh gosh. There was so much that was really cool. I liked that there was a new play incubator in the middle that was
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of like new writers getting to test out their plays and see their work come to life for the first time. That was really creative. And there was a kid-friendly set of shows that was improv and stand-up and puppets and drag and like a room full of, a full house of trans kids and their families belly laughing to tears could fix anybody. That was
Wow.
amazing. All the joy in the room. You could feel it. It
I
was
That
so,
sounds incredible.
yeah,
love
That's
that.
amazing. I'm so glad you had a chance to go do that.
too.
Like queer joy, trans joy, gay joy, lesbian joy. We need more of that in the world, right? Like that is what is fucking missing.
Very much so. Just joy. We just need joy.
Yeah, joy. I'm not gonna, yeah, like we don't have to partition it off for people. Like
Mm.
everyone gets joy. You get joy. You get joy.
Yes, I could not agree more. I am so on the joy train. I love it.
Well, Ben, I was gonna say I'm Jewish too. Although I'm, the kind of Jew that doesn't actually remember when Passover is. Like Easter happens, and I'm always like, oh God, that means Passover just happened, right? Because as we all know, the Last Supper was a Seder.
Exactly. Copyright.
Copyright, period. Uh, I myself am doing the keto diet, and so every day is a day
Ooh.
without carbs.
Come on, keto.
Right? That's how I'm celebrating. I'm down 35 pounds so far. Thank you very much. And between keto and Manjaro and injectable peptides and actually
Mm-hmm.
dragging my ass to the gym every day, it's working. So
Look at that.
yeah, there you go.
Keto is always such a fun diet for me. I've done it a fair amount of times. And it's just always like, ooh, I like the rigidity and the structure and that you
Me too.
logically cannot break it if you want to keep
Right, right. It's not like you can have a cheat day. Like every other diet, you're kind of like, well, I'll cheat a little. Keto's like, no, it's science, bitch.
going.
Like if
Yeah.
you actually eat carbs, you kick your body out of keto. Like,
Ketosis, yeah.
yeah, you're done. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I like it also for the rigidity, but because of the cheese, right? Because like it
Yes.
sort of,
Yes.
do I get cheese? Yes, unlimited amounts. I need a snack.
Hmm.
How about a bowl of melted mozzarella cheese?
It is the most unhinged diet. It's so good.
Yeah,
I'm learning so much right now.
Oh my God,
right?
Ben, it's wild. You basically like trick your body because you don't eat enough carbs. You trick your body into burning fat instead of carbs as its primary source of energy. But so you have to have under, I think it's on like, what, 30 grams a day
Of
of
carbs, yeah.
carbs, which is like a banana. So it's very
Right.
hard, but it's very fun.
Right. It's literally like eat one cracker and you've ruined your ketosis for the day kind of thing. But,
But eat a
if
pack
you'd
of
like,
bacon and you're good for it.
Totally right. Like if you like bacon and if you want to do the anti-kosher diet, like beef and bacon and cheese, uh, you're golden.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
A lot of eggs, perfect for Easter
Yeah, yeah. So many eggs.
or
Yeah.
Passover.
My mom brought a tray of deviled eggs to our little
Mm.
family gathering yesterday, and I basically just stood there and was like, I can have as many of these as I want.
Those are
And
objectively
I
one of the
still
best
lost
party
half a pound
snacks.
this morning. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know
Mm-hmm.
how.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never had a deviled egg before, and I need to. I've not been presented with the opportunity since I became a mature adult with a refined taste palate who
Ooh,
tries
yes.
Mm.
foods.
Right.
Next
I
time me
love.
and the egg are face to face, I'm ready. But I don't know if I could make deviled eggs.
Sure. I mean, it's really just eggs, mayonnaise, paprika, a little
Right.
hot sauce, maybe. It's so
Right.
simple.
Right. A little bit of
Yeah.
mustard in
It's
the egg
basically like a
mixture.
fancy egg salad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a deconstructed egg salad.
Yeah. Or reconstructed, depending on
Right,
which
right.
order you put it in.
Right, right. That's true. Yeah.
This is
We did
deep.
dye eggs yesterday for Easter, and let me tell you, it's a lot harder than I remember to make them look
But
good.
surely there was some art produced, Aiden,
There
right?
was there was art. We didn't have like how you can do like you can draw with like a clear crayon and it won't
Mhm.
like dye it to. We didn't have crayons, so I used chapstick. So we did like a little more abstract,
Cute.
art. I actually should have taken a picture, but I didn't because they were not cute.
Coward.
I know. I know.
Come on, that's it. Like that's an Insta post waiting to happen. Like
I
we
know.
tried to dye eggs.
Honestly,
It's always super, that's sort of like my like hubris when it comes to baking or like edible crafts, where I'm like, this is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so easy and so cool. And then I finish it and I'm like, I'm bad at this. I'm bad at this.
That is a
Heartbreaking.
frustration, right? Like the shit that I make doesn't often look good, but it tastes good. Like when it
Same.
comes to
Totally
food and
same.
baking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Like I
following the mantra make bad art on purpose lately because I'm like,
Mm.
oh, this isn't postable. It's not good. I could never sell this. And I'm like, well, then if I make it bad, it has to be for me. And that's been great for
Yeah.
yourself.
I
Amen.
yeah, I love it. I've decided that I'm creating I'm gonna sing to myself, in the privacy of my own room, even
Yes.
though I'm not a singer. uh, Aiden identified correctly that I'm a bass, and so I'm like, you know what?
Hmm.
I'm just gonna actually try to sing as a bass rather than trying to
Yeah.
be pitchy and weird, and I'm having fun. Like my upstairs neighbors probably hate me, but they've got two toddlers, and so I hate them.
Yeah, that's
Fair
Revenge.
revenge.
trade.
Yeah.
You singing
Yeah.
Hades Town because you could rip. You sing like a
Ooh.
bass for the Hades Town
Oh, I
band.
don't know Hades Town. Am I gonna get in
Oh.
trouble?
No, but
Is
you are gonna get enlightened. Hey, look
Mhm.
up "Hey Little Songbird."
all right.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun
Yeah,
singing that song.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out as soon as we're off the show and give it a try.
Bass in the
Um,
bottom. Oh my god.
yeah, like my go-to is Stephen Merritt from Magnetic Field singing like you know anything off 69 Love Songs like Papa Was a Rodeo or Book of Love. Not ringing any bells. Oh,
No.
okay. I just
Uh
returned the
huh. Uh
favor.
huh. There we go.
You two are gonna have fun.
Uh,
Not
uh,
Yeah. If Dana were
um.
here, Dana she would be popping off in the chat right now. Papa Was a Rodeo. Oof,
Okay.
fucking banger, but like for a
Hey,
bass.
Wait.
I
What is?
like
What
your
is?
twisted point of view, Mike.
Okay. You are gonna fucking flip when you listen to Hades Town.
Okay, I can't
Yeah,
wait.
it's Patrick Page if you know who that is, and his voice is like down here.
Oh, I don't
It's
know who
great.
that
his
is.
voice is unbelievable.
Okay,
Unreal.
nice,
Who's the
nice.
EDM folks that you love, Lawrence?
Above and Beyond.
Thank you. I keep wanting to listen to them at the gym and keep forgetting.
Yeah,
I know I skipped music too early, but
No, that's okay. I love them like beyond measure, and they are touring this year. And so I think I
Hmm.
said this maybe last time that my goal is like Toronto or East Coast or out west at the Gorge in Washington State. Like I'm going to a fucking Above and Beyond show this year.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of going places, Ben, you've got a big trip coming up. Do you want to tell everybody about it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am going to Lithuania. I'll be a visiting scholar on transgender inclusion. I'll be doing guest lectures all over Vilnius. I'm working with the Baltic version of what we know here as PFLAG, which is an organization to support parents of LGBTQ people. There's a wonderful organization doing the same work out in Lithuania and the Baltics that I'm friends with. And we applied for a grant from the Baltic America Dialogue Project, and I'm going to be teaching about trans rights all over Lithuania for a week. I cannot freaking wait. This is going to be
That
so cool.
is amazing. That is amazing.
I'm
So
so
I mentioned this backstage, Ben. My family is from Vilnius. Like we know, that they're from there. We don't kind of really know anything else. They came over in the 1880s and then moved to Oklahoma territory for whatever reason. But like, if you would please find a Jewish graveyard and see if you can find a headstone that says Winnerman, I
yes.
would I would love it. I would die. I have no idea if our name is the original name or if,
Yeah.
somebody at Ellis Island was like
Hmm.
Wiener Man. No, that sucks. We're giving you Winnerman
Uh,
instead.
I'll
And little
ask
did they know that
the
now
guy
Wiener Man.
mentoring me around if they know anything about the history of the name. Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
God. That would be incredible. That would be incredible. I've always wanted to go. Vilnius is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous.
I have heard. I'm so stoked. I've never traveled internationally by myself. I've gone with my parents and I've gone with my wife, but I'm very interested to see what kind of solo international traveler I am.
Oh yeah.
I
Ooh.
know. I'm glad I'm not like alone, alone, alone.
Uh-huh.
It's one more step structured that I'm with like,
Right.
a wonderful tour guide named Ruta, who is the sweetest woman alive, will be monitoring me. She'll be my handler for the week.
Aidan, have you ever traveled alone internationally
Hmm.
or I guess at all?
I've traveled. I did like a UK Iceland back here trip. UK was with friends, then we went to Fringe, and then I did Iceland alone.
Nice.
Um, have I traveled
How
like
was it?
I traveled alone a bit going on tour. It was really cool. I was 20. Oh my god, how old was I? 20? And so I chose Iceland because in my research, which was wrong, I thought that you could still rent a car if you were under 25 without it being exorbitantly expensive. And I got there. I don't know where I did my research. I got there and they're like, no, 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 you still have to pay like so much money. So I really had to reevaluate my trip. And Iceland is so expensive. And I had to reevaluate my trip. And I had a week in Reykjavik. And I was like, all right, what am I going to do? So I had to get really crafty. And it was really nice. I spent a lot of time with my thoughts, and they have a really vibrant tourism scene. So you can get like a city pass that gives you access to all the museums and travel. And, I did like some of the tours. I did a really cool Game of Thrones tour that took you to the very
Nice.
remote places that they filmed, and ended up meeting a girl. We were on that tour. There were maybe 12 of us on this little van, and she was standing on this rock overlooking this whole valley. And I went up to her and I was like, hey, this is going to be kind of creepy, and I promise you it's not, but like, this is such an impressive, incredible photo. Can I take a photo of you on your phone, because I think you should have it? And she was like, of
Wow.
course. We got to talking. Turns out she went to Berkeley College of Music in Boston and was best friends with this kid who I had grown up with from Hawaii.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
And so we
Amazing.
became like friends for the week. It was really cool.
oh, I love that.
That is
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, I'm an okay alone traveler, but there
Hmm.
there is a lot of get comfortable with your thoughts because especially if
Mm,
it's international, you're in a place where you don't speak the primary language, maybe
Hmm.
possibly, and it can be a little bit isolating. You definitely have to like push yourself to get outside of those your comfort zone, or at least I did.
Yes.
Okay. This is
But it's
good to
always
know.
worth it. There's always some kind of weird kismet thing that happens, like what Aidan, what you just described. You
Yeah.
know, where you like meet somebody and they're like, how do you know Susie from back home?"
But it's funny because I felt a lot of pressure to make that happen. Everyone's like, when you travel alone, you're gonna meet so many cool people. And I was like, what if I don't want to? And then it did just sort of happen, which was very nice.
Yeah.
But Ben, if you don't want to meet new people, you don't have to.
I don't actually think
But
I
I know
have.
you will.
I'm pretty sure I have to meet new
Correct.
people.
Right.
Sort of the whole thing.
Right. You will be forced standing up in front of rooms full of people.
Yeah.
Mhm. That part's, I like that part. That part's fine.
Yeah.
Lawrence, do you feel like you're good at sitting with your thoughts?
Ooh.
Only because, well, I'll say Ben and I had a conversation this weekend and we talked about this, and so I'm looping everyone in.
Yes and no, and
Okay.
I'll explain why. So I can entertain myself for hours with my thoughts, right? But if I'm feeling low, if I'm feeling blue, it is a danger because I
Mhm.
definitely have that like teeny tiny, just a little bit OCD, like negative thought spiral thing that can happen. And if
Yeah.
I let that happen, it is not a good thing. Like it is not good. So, but like, you know, yeah, if I've got a project that I'm working on, I saw my family yesterday for Easter brunch, and they're like, where have you been? I'm like, oh right, yeah, like I'm working on this project that I'm super super into, and so I'm up early every morning and working until like 1 o'clock in the morning because I've got my project that I'm really excited about,
Mhm.
and you know, and everyone else is like, "Do you even exist?" I'm like, "Oh shit, right? Yeah, no, I do. I'm
Yeah.
just really like I would have been a good monk, you know."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe this is the Jewish lineage, right? Like I would have been like the rabbi that like goes off and studies, the Talmud, really really deeply, and then like comes
Mhm.
out, once every 2 years or something and says, "I've discovered something magnificent in the Torah."
Yes.
And
Jews love
then like
scientific
people
on
bring me
art.
soup. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
old man Winnerman. Like he, Rabbi Winnerman. He just sits in his study and studies.
Sounds
Yes.
nice.
Honestly, right? Like the introvert in me doesn't hate that as a life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does sound very relaxing. I would have kicked it as a monk. I would have had a great time.
Oh my God, right? Like give me a garden to tend and some books to read.
Uh,
Lawrence,
Yeah.
you gotta read Psalm for the Wild Built that Ben recommended.
Oh,
Did you
I
recommend it on
have.
the
I've got
last?
it.
Oh,
Oh
okay. Oh
yeah.
my God,
I
great.
probably
Did you read
did.
it?
No, I mean not. I had read it before. So
Oh my
what was
God,
her
I
name?
was the
Sarah
last
Moss.
one. Rebecca.
Becky
What's her name?
Chambers.
Becky
Becky
Chambers.
Chambers. That's right. Sarah Moss is different. Yeah, I've read everything by Becky Chambers.
Okay.
Small and
Late to the
Angry,
party.
Planet,
Planet.
and like literally everything. Like I
Yeah.
She has a
loved
new
the
book coming
book.
out this October. Finally, I've been praying. I've been sacrificing at the altar. I'm so ready for a new Becky
Oh my
Chambers
God,
book.
yes. Let's talk about books for a minute, right? Because we were talking
Yeah.
about Dungeon Crawler Carl right before we got on,
Mm-hmm.
and Aiden, you started reading it, and
Mm-hmm. Well, then I'm late to the game for Psalm of a Wild Built, but I finished it and started it this weekend. And
nice,
when I tell you that it wrecked me,
wrecked
like
you.
convulsive sobbing in a way that I really did not expect.
Yeah,
And I was like,
It's so
oh, maybe I have some things I need to, some deep breaths I need to take.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
yeah.
try to read it twice a year because it is like my healing. Aiden, I was telling you about this.
Yeah.
It's so much my favorite book that I got my friends to make a custom bind
Good.
of it
Yes.
for me.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Here's the first one, and
Yeah.
then it
wow.
also is the second one,
Ah,
the other side
wow.
of
That is
the.
gorge.
This is my
Oh my God,
prized
so nice.
possession. Look at these end papers.
Oh, your friend is so talented.
I know. This was like one of the first ones that they did too. It was
Wow.
unbelievable how good this is. This is my prized possession.
Wow.
Yeah.
I understand why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love her as a writer. Like the book is incredible.
Yeah.
All her books are great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it's solar punk. That's the genre that she pioneered, is dreaming of something radically better and not just like steampunk, which is high tech grime,
Right.
or
Right.
dystopian, that's huge apocalypse fiction,
Right.
space empire. She's dreaming of like post apocalypse. What would it look like if we did ecofuturism? I love the language for dreaming that she gives us as
Mm-hmm.
readers. I'm obsessed with Becky Chambers.
Yeah.
Well, and it was funny because I was looking, I forget, it might have been like some like Reddit commentary about it too. And somebody actually was upset with the book because they found it so unrealistic. They're like, nobody can just like sit and watch a cave all day. Like we have, and all the comments were like, no, 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 baby. The point is to show us an alternative
Yeah.
and see what messages we can take and apply it to our own lives.
Right.
And I was
Mhm.
like,
If you're
yeah,
angry, it's because you want it. You're
right.
I don't like it's unrealistic because that makes me too hopeful. You could do
Mm,
that. We could be
you
free.
know, mm-hmm,
I mean,
mm-hmm.
that is a real thing. I like. What are your hot takes on like? I mean, I would postulate as queer people, we need the hopeful like solar punk stuff like that. Is it harder for us to imagine futures in which we are seen and valued?
Okay, damn.
I'm just gonna bring it heavy.
Is it harder for us? I would say maybe. I also just feel like it's more of like a commentary on the state like right now. I think
Hmm.
so much right now feels so like the future feels so untenable and so unrealistic to like dream of something positive, but yet something feels like it has to happen. Casey and I were having this conversation about like what the sort of existential dread of, pick a thing, climate change, AI, the descent into the far rightness of the world, like pick any one thing and like what that is doing to relationships just across
Yeah.
the board and like the added pressure and strain. And I don't know, I think it makes those stories that are hopeful and optimistic and paint a good picture of the future as really vital.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
You asked for a hot take, and so I've been describing how hot I want to get right now. And I think
Hot.
it's Monday morning. It is 7:24 a.m. The sun is not out here in California. So I decided that I need to be the source of heat in this room today.
All right.
Do I think it's hard to envision a better future? For some people, yes. And I think we do that to ourselves. I think that some of us in the queer community are addicted to martyrdom because
Mm.
we are too afraid to envision something better. So we want to fight the fight and burn ourselves out so that we don't have to worry about building something. That'll be the next person's problem. And I think that we shame earnestness so bad that when somebody dreams, it's embarrassing. And really, it's because we're afraid of the possibilities of getting hurt by hoping too hard. And I think that we socially normalize doom and saying the world is on fire and everything is burning. And like people all the time at this LA festival were casually like, yeah. And when they put us in the camps, and I'm like, don't fucking normalize that. Sorry. I told you I was going to get
Oh,
hot.
you can fucking swear all
We're,
you want, Ben.
we're
This is why I love Ben.
other miserable, and despair is so tempting, it's so comforting, and it's so morally superior people who are really caught up in their doom because it feels so much better. It absolves us of responsibility to accept that everything is over, the score is settled, the day is done. And what I think is that hopelessness now, if you look at everything this community has survived, the erasure we have experienced, the laws we have fought against, if you look at where we are now compared to any other point in queer and trans history, to say that this is the point where we should give up, is an embarrassment and a betrayal. If I told Marsha P. Johnson I thought everything she survived and everything she fought for was worth nothing and that this is too hard for me, being a professional transgender educator, traveling around all the time at a publicly advertised trans theater festival with professional sponsors, she would slap me across my face. I owe my trans elders better than that. Hope is not easy, and we have to choose it anyways. Normalize earnestness, normalize hope. It will not be easy, and I don't care. We have to do it anyways. There's my hot take.
I'm not sure if that's
what sound effects. Oh, it worked. It worked. I was like, is it raining?
What I need.
No, I was looking for like the bomb, you know, like there needed to be like a Ben, I see you and I will raise you, and I will say that I think a piece of it is generational too, right? Like, you know, old man take here, but like Gen X, like despair was the vibe of Gen X, right? Like, you know, like we were growing up in a time where it felt like things were kind of hopeless. The threat of nuclear war was, you know, super omnipresent, and like it was cool in Gen X to be, you know, the slacker who was basically like, oh, you know, I don't care, who fucking cares, you know, I'm not going to worry about the future because, you know, nothing's going to be here. And I get that, like, you know, millennials and Gen Z have way more claim to the world potentially not being here than we did, but like it was the vibe. And I think for Gen X, well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I struggle with the despair piece as a Gen X gay man, like seeing all the people that we lost who came right before me. Yeah. And I am simultaneously hopeful at all of the progress that we have made in my lifetime, and I think prone to despairing because of the moment that we're in, right? But hearing your reframe of like Marsha P. Johnson, you know, would like come back from the dead and kick my ass if she saw me despair, like it's 100% right. That is absolutely the truth, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder about that, and I get why you love Becky Chambers, because she is absolutely presenting a vision of a way of being that is very different from what we have come to accept as, even within like the Overton window, the realm of possibility of what is possible now.
Yeah, you know? And what I want to say too is that, you know, my catchphrase when it comes to news and social media is that your despair is someone else's business model. The fact that you, as a listener, as you two, my friends, whoever is listening to this, even I say this to myself, the fact that you feel despair is not a moral failing or a failure of willpower. That is manufactured by a machine who wins when you give up. It is not your fault that you feel so frightened and you feel so isolated and so disconnected and so disempowered. It is not your fault. It will be your fault if you get out of that. No one will be able to pull you out of that except yourself. But it is not your fault you're in that. I see you in your despair. I love you in your fear. I am here with you. I understand. It is so scary to hope. It is so much harder. But I want you to know that, like, that despair is manufactured. You are getting shown a vision of the world that is on fire, that is ending, that is in a forever words march towards worse. And that is not true. You must seek out good news and rest and balance and empowerment and community. We need these things, but I don't want you to feel like you are a failure if you are despairing. It's so massive and around us and very, very difficult to build systems and communities that allow us to resist that. So I come across as really hot take. I want you to know I'm not angry at you as an individual.
Oh my God. No, I didn't think that for a second, Ben. No. You know, like splash of cold water, because everything you're saying is right. I agree with you, right? Like the better angels of my nature absolutely agree with you 100%. And it forces me to kind of like deconstruct my, you know, am I actually addicted to despair because it's easier than taking responsibility? That sounds right in a very
Yeah.
uncomfortable way.
Yeah, especially if you put despair under the same umbrella as numbness, because they are same
Mhm.
hat, then I think it's much easier to notice our addiction to numbness and to how different is that really from despair? Of I just need to unplug. I just know like numbness is how we cope with despair, and they feed each other so
Yeah.
suspiciously. I was addicted to numbness for a very long time. For me, that was social media, technology, addiction. And I needed to build systems. So it wasn't about willpower. It's not waking up every day and saying, don't check your phone, don't check your phone, don't check your phone. I charge it in a different room. So I don't have that choice. You
Yeah.
can build systems that make it easier. So it's not just about, am I strong enough to resist a multi-billion-dollar addiction machine that has made itself indispensable to my functioning?
Addiction and I forget who, I think it's Anna Lemke says it. It's like it's also a masturbation machine because it's cued for you to feel incredible. So it's your way of being like, I want to give myself pleasure. And it's the easiest way for us to do, for most people to do that,
Yeah.
which makes it even more challenging. And yeah, it's like you said, like the easiest way to have discipline is to set yourself up to not need it.
Yes. You rise to
Yeah.
the level of your ambitions, you fall to the level of your systems. How can you
Yeah.
set yourself up
Ooh.
for success?
Damn. Ben woke up ready to drop some fucking knowledge this morning.
He does every time. Every time. Every time.
You should not see me at 2 p.m. I'm great in the morning.
We are opposites then, my friend. I am not great in the morning, but like 2 p.m. is sort of my like everyone out of my way. I've got 100 things I need to do.
Oh, God.
Oh, jealous. Yeah. As soon as it hits 1 p.m., I'm like, well, the day is kind of over.
Right. And there's no point in going to the gym now. I've missed the window.
Oh, see, that's no, that's the only time I go because then I know that like that is sort of like a routine thing that I don't have to like extend creative energy to. So
Yeah.
I block my morning off. I do all my creative, like long term stuff in the morning. And then when I don't feel motivated, I go to the gym.
That's so smart.
That is smart. Yeah. Nice.
But we were having a conversation with my in laws yesterday about the difference between motivation and discipline and
Oh,
how for them, for my brother-in-law, he was like, it's one thing to say I'm not motivated to go to the gym because that alleviates your like the self-responsibility. But he's like, but if I say I'm not disciplined enough to go to the gym, he's like, that is a whole different mindset. And then that like implies like this moral thing. It's like, and then I go. And I was like, huh, that's like a really interesting
Hmm.
switch that I never thought about.
this is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
There is such an interesting, like, you're spot on with the motivation of like, when you ask yourself, do I want to do this thing? It's kind of
Right.
already too late. It shouldn't be about that. I'm going to show up for myself. Do I want to write today? Or, okay, I'm going to write today. Like, of course I'm gonna like, oh, I have to write a really hard scene in the novel I'm working on. That's scary. Let me
Right.
go for a walk instead. Like, no, it's not do I want. Oh, that's so interesting.
Isn't
Ooh,
it? Because
use
again,
that.
it's so easy to say that I'm not motivated, but as soon as I tell myself that I'm not disciplined, I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
yes, I am. I have to prove to myself that I am.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this.
Hmm. Yeah. That is very interesting. Um, not to like kind of derail from where we are because I do love where we are, but books like I'm curious, are there other books that have inspired a similar kind of hope in you, Ben or Aidan? Questions for both of you.
I'm researching for a book on the role of queer joy and hope through history of the movement. So a lot of books are really doing it for me these days. One that I really like to recommend right now is it's called See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. This is a book that has changed my perspective a lot on how I reach people who I'm willing to reach, who is worth reaching. Because it turns out the answer is as many people as you possibly can. There were a lot of people in my work, people even in my own family that I didn't necessarily have a really strong interest in connecting with, in understanding. It was easy. Oh, hello, beautiful cat. It was so tempting for me to kind of write a lot of people off. And this book really helped me like get to this place of like, if I'm actually dreaming of a future in which people, we have a different approach to forgiveness and healing, in which we talk to each other, we're curious about each other, who's going to start that? It's not going to be a law. It has to be me. It's easy to love the people I already like. What does it look like to love everybody else? That is so difficult. And I have genuinely come to the belief that if we cannot learn to genuinely love and care about one another, what's the fucking point? We're not going to be able to build something better if we spend the whole time imagining 50% of the population disappearing. That's never going to be the foundation for, like, we have to heal. And that's so scary. And it's going to start with revolutionary love. So this book makes me tremendously hopeful, and it's very actionable. I hate a pithy self-help book. I hate a self-care slogan. I do not get on board with it. Like, yes, love your neighbor, even the difficult people. Bye. I have no interest in that, but it's really, really tactical of like, okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you sit with somebody in a way that doesn't hurt you, but that gives you the strength to be present with them in a way that is loving? And that's really cool for me.
What is one of the tactics? Like, what is one of the, tools that they give you in the book?
I think there's one of the strategies and like the mindset she has of particularly painful moments is embracing what will have to come next and what will have to come now. She gave this sermon a couple of years ago that when you listen to the audiobook, they play the actual sermon, which is deeply, deeply powerful, that she basically said, this moment feels incredibly dark, and it is only up to us to decide, is this the darkness of the tomb or the darkness of the womb? What we must do is breathe and push. That is all we can do. And I think that breathe and push is a real mantra for me of like, okay, it is time to go one step further. It's time to go one step deeper, and to not deny others the dignity of complexity. I sit across from someone. What I'm hearing in my head is breathe and push, be willing to be present with this person. If it is safe to do so physically, I want to be here with them. I want them to know that I love them. And I want to understand that this person in front of me, before they were all the things I'm labeling them as, this person was a child. And that child did not act the way this adult is acting. That child did not hold the beliefs this adult is holding, was not hurt in the way this adult is. What happened? What are they afraid of? Who hurt them? Why are they like this? And being willing to sit with somebody and see that somebody had to hurt them for them to get better. That doesn't absolve them of that, but it helps me see them as an entire, complete person backed into their own corner instead of two-dimensional supervillain rubbing their hands together, plotting my downfall. Most regular people are not villains. They're people, and they're afraid, and they're manipulatable, and they're all these things, but they're a good person, or at least they think they are. You could do a lot with that.
Damn.
Thoughtful applause, not small applause.
Right. Like, no, like, Ben, I want to listen to you preach. Like,
why do you think he gives so many talks?
Honestly,
sometimes I give a really good talk and I'm like, oh, I was preaching at that one.
No, we love it. Go, Aidan. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question that we can really skim over, but Ben, because I respect your opinion so much, and because it's such a topical and broad conversation about separating books from people and art from impact.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Harry Potter, obviously.
Ugh.
Like the new show is coming out. They just released a documentary. it's getting flack for casting a black Snape. Obviously, J.K. Rowling is a brutally hateful human. But it is so interesting because, like, I think about books that really affected me. Like, Harry Potter was the first book that I grew up with. I would go to Borders every release. Like, that was long before her views became so publicly known, at least. And I just think, yeah, I want to know, like, Ben, what is your opinion on the whole thing?
Yeah. So I've got combination of opinions, right? Do I think the fact that we spent the last 15 years telling J.K. Rowling to kill herself has made her into the villain that she is today? Yep, partially. Partially. I don't think she started out wanting to become this person. She wanted to write books for the outsider. And now she is a supervillain. I do not say that lightly. And I think that's a little bit of a misperception that people say, can't we separate the art from the artist? Isn't like, it feels like everybody's getting canceled and we kind of throw the same size of gigantic hammer at everyone indiscriminately for whether it's a tweet 10 years ago or an inappropriate joke at a comedy show. J.K. Rowling writes and funds most anti-trans legislation in the UK. It is directly due to her organization, her lobbying efforts, her advocacy efforts that trans women are deeply, deeply endangered within the UK. Every time there's an anti-trans bill passed, she takes all her friends out for cigars and posts how proud she is. The money that she gets goes into her foundation, which is meant to fund anti-trans legislation and protect any woman who faces backlash for speaking out against the trans community. So that money is so immediately going to hurt trans people. So I want us to differentiate levels of impact. Can you separate the artist? Kind of. And that money is going to hurt people real bad. So what I'll say, number one, is that do I engage with Harry Potter content? No. Do people come to me constantly to absolve them of their guilt for enjoying Harry Potter? Every freaking time. Especially if there's a new drop, I know that I'm going to see an uptick in people reaching out to me. Here's what I say. You want to engage with Harry Potter? Fine. You want to engage with historical material? Great. If you can engage in a way that doesn't give her money, you could pirate the TV show. That's fine. Are there ways to engage that don't give her money? You want to reread your copies of the book? Knock yourself out. That's special and meaningful to you? Great. I have no problem with that. Harry Potter had a very special place in my life for a long time. I've chosen to move past that. You don't have to. But I will say the amount that we talk about Harry Potter, they're only making this show because no one will stop fucking talking about Harry Potter. As soon as people aren't interested, they won't make it anymore. They know we're posting about it on Instagram. They know we're making little trendy reels. They know we're throwing Harry Potter parties. And it doesn't really matter whether or not you're giving her money for the parties because they know people will eat that up. As soon as we stop, they will move on. And she will stop making quite as much money. It almost at this point doesn't matter because she has so much cultural relevance and money.
Honestly.
Damn it. So I don't know for sure. And like, separating the art from the artist, I actually don't want to do that because we all make art because something in us is broken and we'd like to try to tell somebody about it or make it feel better or make it feel worse. I like to engage with art because I like to know what's wrong with the artist. Most art, it's fun for me to engage with, to say, what do I think you're trying to heal with this? So I'm really interested in Harry Potter and in any kind of art by a like canceled artist to figure out what's going on with them. So will I absolve you of your guilt? No. Are you allowed to watch it? Yeah. Don't please stop asking. This is not at you, Aidan. You are asking for regular people who are just texting their friends to be like, but it's okay that I'm watching because I'm a great ally, right? No. You're not, and don't tell me about it. You could watch the show in private, make a donation to a trans organization every time you watch an episode. If you buy Hogwarts Legacy, donate the same amount to, Transformations Kansas City, protecting Black trans women being deeply, deeply hurt by Kansas's anti-trans laws. Like, help us survive the consequences of your actions, at least. So I'm not going to cancel anybody for watching it, but we got to be a little more thoughtful about it, you guys.
I think
Right.
this is the place that I'm at, Ben, right? Like I've got my copies of Harry Potter. I used to reread them like, I don't know, once or twice a year, right? Like I'm an avid reader. I reread
They
things
were
all the
such
time.
fun books. They were meaningful to a lot of people.
Right. I mean like I've got memories of hanging out with Dana in line at midnight to, get books, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? All of that.
Hmm.
And I have and I don't watch new Harry Potter content, partly because I don't think it's any good, and partly because I don't want to, because I don't want to support her. I'm not interested in the HBO series. I just don't care. We have the movies; they're done. Like I don't need to
Yeah.
see another recapitulation, right? Like
Yeah,
watching another filmic version is not
the
like
franchise is
rereading
tired,
for me,
guys.
right? And
Correct.
but I've noticed that I have not been rereading, and like probably the last 3 years, I haven't been rereading the books because I don't have the same level of enjoyment anymore because I personally cannot separate the art from the artist. I feel that way. I mean, like in egregious, cases like Bill Cosby, I have absolutely no interest in ever
Yeah.
watching any recording of him ever again. I cannot listen to Michael Jackson's music the same way that I did when I was a child. Like I personally can't separate the art from the artist. I just
Right.
can't. That's the way that I'm built. But like other people can do whatever the fuck they want, you know. But I'm completely in alignment with you that if buying new copies of the books or buying the game or watching the HBO series is going to put money in J.K. Rowling's pocket so that she can go beat up on trans people in the UK, like fuck
Mhm.
her. And honestly, think about your priorities, you know?
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
priorities, it's so, so hard, almost impossible to change someone's mind by creating a vacuum, by telling them this behavior must stop. And this behavior is
Yeah.
bad. That's so, so ineffective persuasively. So what I actually like, I spend almost no time thinking about Harry Potter. I don't have to tell myself, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, because what I have put in my brain instead is, okay, what trans authors are there out there? There are amazing trans authors writing some
Hmm.
great wizard books. Her Majesty's Royal Coven, incredible adult witch fantasy set in the UK about taking down turfs within the coven. Like there's so many great books and TV shows and trends in queer art that doesn't hurt people. So I don't want to say like just abandon Harry Potter and lose that meaning. Reflect on
Right.
other wonderful things from your childhood, or like find
Right.
like I got really excited about Percy Jackson. Find trans authors to support. Replace the behavior with something you enjoy instead of just saying you're a bad person. You should start having a void in your life. Fill that
Right.
with something
Which
better.
I will
And
add, the
right.
really cool thing that Rick Riordan does, who wrote Percy Jackson, is he started uplifting other authors to
Yeah.
write their versions of their culture's God stories. He's like, I'm not going to write those, but I can use my platform to uplift the people who can.
Yeah.
And really quickly, just to like add like a layer of nuance to like art
Yeah.
and artist, is like there's also the different levels of art within Harry Potter because it is so big. And like the thing that hurts my like heart the most is that all of these memories that I have had are now so much more complicated because of the actions of somebody who I do not care for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. But everything else totally, and that doesn't negate agreement with anything. I agree with
We don't
all
have
of
to change the memories. I can
right.
love without complication. I can love the fact that I've sat in the back seat of my mom's minivan reading, all the Harry Potter books every time I drove to my
Right.
grandma. I don't actually have to say, was that memory bad? It was a great memory. I just changed the way I engage in the future. You don't need to
Uh-huh.
erase the memories of Harry Potter from your childhood. It was
Yeah.
Right.
important to a lot of people. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And I love the idea of like build back better with something
Ugh.
newer, right? Like so Jelly Clark. I don't know if you all are familiar with their work. So I I magical Afrofuturism, right?
Mm.
Like
Hmm.
if you want amazing world building like J.K. Rowling did with Harry Potter, Jelly Clark is going to give you some of the most vividly realized, interesting like levels of dynamics, and these entities do this, just like the full schmear, right? And beautiful books, and centers a queer romance, and ugh, like such good work. And so I think you're exactly right that, Build Back Better with other more interesting authors, like
Yeah.
Harry Potter was of a moment. There, I don't know when again we will see a kind of like sui generis kind of out of nothing movement centered around an author and their singular piece of work, right? It was
Right.
incredible. And also, there's so much fucking cool stuff out there. Go read other
Yeah.
really cool, interesting people.
Yeah.
N.K. Jemisin, right? Like another
Oh,
kind of she's not really an Afrofuturist, but like a black science fiction author who is
and
centering
fantasy.
blackness and queerness, right? Like,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like if you're
Um,
missing, like Dumbledore's Alliance and the ways that people gathered around a book, fun fact, you have agency. Do it again. Start a Becky Chambers Club and talk about solar punk
right,
in your community, or like join a
yeah.
science fiction joy book club. Like if you're missing the experience of what it felt like to all go crazy about a series, start a book club about it, gather people. It doesn't have to be driven by a marketing machine or by a cultural zeitgeist moment. Maybe it won't be global, but you could still build that in your community. That's still on
right,
the
Yeah.
table.
right. And it is kind of happening now with Dungeon Crawler Carl, right? Like Matt
Hmm.
Dinneman sort of building like a movement around this. And it's interesting, right? Because I keep reading it looking for hints of queerness because I'm me and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it isn't, right? Like that isn't what this serves, but it is very anti-capitalist and anti-corporate, and I feel like of this moment when we're thinking so much about authority and authoritarianism and people being forced into work situations that they don't want to experience.
Yeah.
So there's so much other opportunity out there.
It feels very much, granted, I'm not far into it, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Have either of you read Jade City by Fonda Lee?
No.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I love that book.
Lawrence, it's a trilogy. It is, in my mind, there's fifth season by N.K. Jemisin, and then Jade City. I forget what the full trilogy is called. And I'm like trying to figure out like what my third one is to complete this trilogy of like epic fantasy written by non-white authors that I love. There was a podcast I used to listen to, and they were really strong about like decolonizing your bookshelf and going through your bookshelf and looking at how many authors, especially in science fiction and fantasy, are white. And
Oh
as
my
soon as I
God,
did that, I
yes.
was like, "Ooh, I have a lot of reading I need to do."
It's
Okay.
so interesting. I didn't do that like kind of through that movement, but over the course of like probably the last 5 years, partly
Hmm.
through working with an author coach who I really, really love and admire. Uh, like she kind of got me into Becky Chambers and Sarah Moss, and like centering queer authors, and that kind of led me to N.K. Jemisin and kind of centering
Hmm.
black non-white authors, and kind of rekindled my love of Octavia Butler. Like we can do this, right? Like we can
Right.
decolonize our bookshelf. I didn't know there was an entire movement around that, but it's such a great idea and fun thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need another trilogy, the Poppy War trilogy is they had to create a new label of genre for it. It's called grimdark fantasy. I want to warn you that it is
Great.
just murder upon you. It's great. The first half of the first book is like, we're at a magic school training for war, ha ha ha. And then it's war. And oh my God. It is beautiful.
Hmm.
the right mood for that.
Great.
I love R.F.
Okay.
Kuang. That book series is amazing, and holy
Great.
gosh darn shit.
That has been on my list for a long time, but I will bump it up with this recommendation.
Similar level of world building to Jade City for me.
Great. Great.
From similar boxes, less modern day, but I really liked both of them for similar reasons. Both authors are like in a class of their own in prose, in world building, in magic systems. Like,
yeah.
Nice. We're almost at the top of the hour. We always, I mean, I feel like
we didn't cover it yet.
There's so much stuff that we could have talked about today, and we kind of talked about music a little bit so far. But like, let's talk about what we're listening. And I'm totally putting myself on the spot because I'm realizing I don't know that I have anything new and fresh. But what are you guys listening to right now?
Well, I've been listening a lot to the album you told me about last week, Lux by Rosalia.
Nice.
Loving that album. Also, The Secret to Life by Fizz. I'm late to the Fizz party. This is queer theatrical maximalism. This album is wacky. It is crazy. I love it so deeply. That's
say it again. What is that?
Secret to Life by Fizz. It's a collaboration between a bunch of different queer UK artists who like went and stayed at a barn for a month and wrote this amazing album. And also, if you need to like feel better as an activist and you're struggling with despair, Observations from a Crowded Room by Joy Alada-Kun. I listened to that to heal me, to relight my fire, and to like hold me gently when the fire feels small. Love both of those albums.
Okay.
Amen. Also, I'll add sorry, Lawrence.
No, go ahead.
The Scarlet Opera, if you're looking for queer maximalism, is sort of giving like Queen vibes. Yeah, very, very good. My thing, so inspired by Ben, I've been trying to listen to more albums recently. And I was on the bus on Saturday to go out to my in-laws in Jersey. And the bus was very loud. So I put on these like very nice noise canceling headphones, closed my eyes and listened to the new Dermot Kennedy album, top to bottom. With like, I was like, when was the last time I sat with my eyes closed and just listened to a song? And then I sort of went back and like found my favorite emotional songs. It was like, they sound completely different when you listen to them without doing anything else.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. I heard new orchestrations. I heard new words in different ways. I was just so more tapped into the experience of listening to a song.
Nice.
So I think the album is called The Weight of the Woods.
Ooh, good.
All right. Oh my God, I'm so excited to check all this out. I just realized I haven't been listening to new music at the moment. I have been listening. I downloaded this app. I did it, you guys. Like I got one of those Insta ads, and I was like, oh, and I downloaded the app, and I've been using. It's called Endel. I sound like I'm doing a promo right now. I'm totally not.
Yeah.
They do this thing called 8-dimensional music, and it's supposed to like, it's very binaural beats, kind of, solfeggio frequencies.
Yeah.
And it really is supposed to like calm and center. And so here's my thing. I'm working on this project that I'm like just up to my eyeballs in. I'm super, super excited about it. And I cannot listen to music when I'm working. I know people will yell at me or whatever, but like a whole other topic is like the open work environment where everyone listens to like shared music. I fucking hate it with the white hot passion of 1,000 suns. Like, don't make me listen to your music when I'm working or I will murder you.
Respect.
Like, I just don't. But this is the kind of stuff that I can put on, and it's very, like it's supposed to center the hemispheres of your brain. And you guys have like totally entered the flow state where literally I sit down and I'm suddenly like, where did 7 hours just go? So it's an interesting little app. It is pricey, but
I'm so sorry. Cool. I have to.
Ben, you got to hop off.
Oh yeah, Ben, you got to go.
Yes.
Now, normalized therapy, men's mental health matters. Everyone go to therapy. This was great. Thank you guys as always. I love
You're
getting
the best.
Thanks, Ben.
Bye,
Oh
everybody.
my gosh.
Bye,
All right, my
Ben.
diatribe there at the end. Aidan, give us
so
tell the
good.
people where you are and how they can find you, and then give us your closing thoughts for the day.
Okay, great. You can find me on Instagram, Aidan Wharton, Aidan with an A. And then you can find me on Substack at Gay Buffet. And then you can find my podcast, Getting Close, wherever you listen to podcasts. This week we have a kink therapist, and it is one of my favorite episodes we've done yet.
Now,
And what am I
is that episode
thinking?
out already, or
It'll be out tomorrow.
nice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Out tomorrow. This past episodes was with my husband about his drinking journey or non-drinking journey. What is my like final thing for the week? We have a word every month, and an impact is April's, and so like making good impact is my vibe for the week.
I love it.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I'm at lwinner.substack.com and the Daily Whatever Show, of course. And you know, this is therapy, right? What you and me and Ben just did. Like,
right.
I feel like this is the kind of conversation that queer folks, queer men need to have. The sharing of ideas and resources and like honest opinions about you know, things that impact us. I love it, and we need to do more of this. If only there were a way that we could connect with more people.
Indeed.
Yeah. But thank you, my friend. This was an awesome show.
Course.
I really appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful week.
You too.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, chat.
Bye. Mwah.
Bam.